An entrepreneur, author, social media consultant, shares her story of building her life, business around her two adorable autistic children. Indeed, all is possible to them that believe. Welcome, Emma Bassi.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
It's lovely to have you on the show today.
Yes.
And I like the fact that you're looking so colorful. Emma, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Emma. I'm married to a beautiful man. I have 4 children.
Okay.
But I live with my husband and my last 2 children.
Okay.
The other ones are older and they are in uni and out of school and that kind of thing.
Excellent. Well, you look good for someone's children now out of uni. Well done for that.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Your 2 children that are here, I call them special children.
Yes, they are special.
Yes. Can you tell us their names?
Okay, I have 2 boys. Their names are Jordan and Zachary.
Okay.
Yeah. Jordan's 16, Zachary's 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your 2 special children, tell us a bit more about them.
Okay, both of them are on almost opposite sides of the autistic spectrum.
Right.
So they're both autistic, but very, very different, you know. So, you know, Jordan is more able than Zachary. Jordan, he writes, he reads, he talks, he walks, whatever. But Zachary is like almost like having a baby in the house.
Right.
So Zach is 24/7. Jordan is a bit more independent. But you know, but they both have you know, challenges of the being on the spectrum.
Of the spectrum, right? Yeah. When you conceived and when you became aware that they were autistic, what was your reaction? How did you feel?
Okay, that's a hard question, because what happens is that, you know, life is going on. It's like a wheel is rolling. It's just going. So it's not like,
because you just don't know like that.
Yeah. So you know, so things happen. Like for instance, with Zachary, you know, the teacher just would start noticing some things about him in the classroom, and then say, "Oh, should we call in a educational psychologist to look at him, and let's take him to the doctor for a test. Let's do this," you know. So, you know, bit really by bit,
no
you know,
sign directly for you to know.
Yes. So there's different. It's almost like different parts of a puzzle. You know, I mean, for one thing, the speech is delayed.
Yes.
You know, so your child is 3, 4, 5, he's not talking yet, you know, and you know, certain things, they have certain almost OCD behaviors. They play with only certain toys. They don't make eye contact, you know, those kind of things, you know. But you're leaving the house with children, and they're your children.
Exactly.
So you kind of just say, okay, this is part of who they are, or this is their personality, and that kind of thing, you know. So it was hard, though. It was hard when we got the diagnosis, and Jordan was the first to start having needs where he had to have extra help in school, and you know, somebody who is with him all the time in school, and having meltdowns and tantrums and that kind of thing in school, you know. So by the time Zachary started showing some of the signs, we kind of were dreading that it was going to be the same thing, you know. But that's actually what happened. It's oh God, I don't even know what to call it. You know, it's not good news. It's not good news to hear. It's not, you know, because you think about your children and you want your children to do well. You want your children to thrive, you know, so you're thinking, what's going to happen to my children? Are they going to have to be dependent on people all their lives, you know, and all that kind of thing. I know I have a confession I confess all the time. I'm like, you're going to leave this house, you're going to marry, you're going to, yes, you know, so I confess, you know, over them all the time. I say, look, you're going to get married, you're going to have children, you're going to have a business, you're going to serve God, you're going to, you know. So those are the things that people, I guess, take for granted, but, you know.
What was, so when you then find out, because at times when we have, you know, situations in our life, there are two ways. We either look at God and, you know, say, why me? Or you look at God and you either go that why me, and then your relationship with God starts to go in a positive way. But I've also had of people who've then experienced this and they've just thought, you know what, is there really a God in all of this? What was your own state of mind to that?
I mean, there's times that you do why, not even why me, you know, why me. So, but it's more like, you know, what's going on, you know, you're like, what's going on, and being a believer, you're like, God, don't worry, you've got this, you know, you can heal him, or you know, you know, those kind of things, you know, and you can be well, you know. So it's like, so sometimes you find yourself, either you go into this, I don't know what's called, like crisis mode, you know, like, you know, you become a fighter. So you start fighting, and you're like, you know, let's fight this thing, like, you know. And then sometimes it's like, you know, what, you know, you just you run out of energy, or you run out of things to do, you know. So yeah.
I remember you shared with me that, especially in the initial days, you were up and ready to go anywhere, trying to look for a solution to that. Share some of this experience.
Oh yeah. So I would read books, you know, because to be honest, Zachary started. We noticed Zachary's. There's this common thing when people with autistic children, sometimes they're normal for the first few years, and then it's like there's some incident or something that nobody can pinpoint, then they just go down. So maybe they, like Zachary, he was talking, he was developing normally. You know, he first started having some words, he could obey some commands, you know, he said, oh, say bye-bye, you know, he would say bye, you know, like a little child, you know, but then after some time, you know, he just changed. In fact, we just thought, we were even joking about it. We were like, you know, we went to Nigeria with this child and he came back with a different child. He just changed, you know. So later, I personally, you know, and somebody might argue with me, but I personally think that even though he might have had the tendency, you know, he had, his immune system was also affected when he had to have those vaccinations before traveling. So that's what I think, you know, that, so I mean, that's just, you know, but that's just by the way, because it happened, and, you know, it happened, and he's, you know, so, but you try to fight it. We were asking that question about fighting it. So I was reading books, you know, oh, there's, you know, the vaccinations, there's these things that you can do, there's this cure. If you go and lie down in an oxygen something, you know, oxygen chamber, you know, there's enzymes that
I remember you mentioned about enzymes, and then you even had to travel to Manchester. So
traveling to different places where they say, oh, you know, we can cure autism, you know, call it wherever you say I'm there, you know, wherever you say, you know, say.
And you didn't have a car then?
No. So there's me dragging Jordan, you know, and they around with me, left the baby at home, you know, and going to meet other desperate parents as well, you know, who are, you know, and then somebody comes and says, oh, I'm an expert in this, you know, and there's nobody that's an expert in everything. So there's an expert in, this coconut milk, if you drink this coconut milk, I tried it on my child, it worked. You know, this one will say, I tried this other one on my child, it worked, you know, so you almost are running from pillar to post, because unfortunately the medical and the, you know, the medical whatever, society or whatever is still, you know, figuring it out. You know, they're still trying to figure it out.
A lot of research.
A lot of research and all that kind of thing. So, so we just, after some time, just had to.
And then after some time, I remember you then saying to me that it was like God was saying, enough.
Yeah.
You know, let's
It was like, just stop. You know, it was just, just stop. Because for one thing is like, you think, okay, if you have to, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a heathen. You have to accept your situation, and you have to love your child as he is, or in spite of what you think he should be. So you have to kind of accept that, okay, this is the child you gave me. This is my child. He's a person. And my boys are wonderful.
Excellent.
My boys are actually wonderful.
Excellent.
And they're actually wonderful children. So going out there all the time, you don't have time to focus on them. So that's
what you were saying about, they're wonderful. I think they're wonderful. I think that's when one comes to the realization, like you've said, that they're children. They're my children, and I love them irrespective of whatever challenges we're facing. And I think maybe when you got to that stage where it was like accepting, like you said, and then God, you can still do what you want to do, with them, because I've given them back to you. I've placed them in your hands,
So there's that. I mean, you have to. I still believe. I still believe that I will give God the glory. We still believe.
Amen.
That like my younger one is he's 12 and he doesn't talk. I still believe he will talk. He has one or two words, and when he has those words, we're very happy. We celebrate, we dance and everything. We tell everybody, he said bye-bye today, or he said hello, or that kind of thing. But he's 12, but and then sometimes, when you go out and you just see some 2-year-old or 1-year-old and they're I'm like, oh God,
So
just
those
those
times,
those are the time, you say, why can't my child just talk, but
with all of the challenges which you've embraced, you've then went into your own way of dealing with it, which we're going to touch on after our break. I know you mentioned to me that, there were times where you were sort of like inclusive, but then being inclusive led you to discover so many things about yourself. So we're going to go on a quick break now, and when we come back, you're going to share a bit of that with us.